Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine being thrust into a world where your deepest thoughts become currency, where memories can be rewritten.
And your very reality is like part of some grand experiment.
Exactly. What if the most profound journey you could take wasn't outwards, but inwards, into a mind that's just constantly rearranging itself?
Well, this deep dive is pretty unique, actually. Our source material isn't, the usual stack of articles. It's excerpts from a really imaginative novel.
Right.
It's a wild ride into one man's shifting perceptions,
Hmm.
where that line between internal and external reality just completely blurs.
Yeah.
What really stands out here is how the narrative just dissects consciousness itself, identity, and maybe surprisingly, the sheer power of information.
So our mission today, let's pull out the most fascinating insights from this, well, mind-bending story.
Mm-hmm.
We'll explore two realities that seem totally separate at first.
But they're not.
No, and we'll uncover how they're actually tangled together by this secret high-stakes experiment. You might just find yourself rethinking your own world a bit.
Definitely food for thought.
So our protagonist, he's called a Calcutec. Think of him as a highly specialized information processor.
His job involves laundering and shuffling data, right? Converting numbers from one side of his brain to the other.
Yeah, he literally inputs data into his right brain, converts it using this unique sign pattern. It's like a personal decryption key wired into his own brain chemistry.
Wow.
Then transfers it to his left brain to output the recoded numbers. It's all classified, and apparently he's incredibly good at it.
And what's really striking is that he was one of, 26 people?
26, yeah.
Yeah.
Who had this specific brain operation to get this skill.
But here's the kicker. After 3 years, he's the only one left, the only survivor.
That's huge, yeah.
The source suggests he has some kind of natural antibody or maybe an emotional shell that let him survive when all the others, well, their brains malfunction.
So this makes him exceptionally valuable.
Oh, absolutely. Almost the key to something much bigger.
That survival aspect is extraordinary. Does the source material give any hints about how this emotional shell works? Or is it just sort of there?
It's mostly left as a mystery, the kind of protective layer against that brain malfunction.
Okay.
But his resilience definitely puts him right in the crosshairs of this shadowy conflict.
Right, between these two big players.
Exactly. We've got this system, sort of quasi-governmental, a conglomerate, and then the factory.
The data mafia.
Yeah, described as a data mafia. They specialize in information piracy. For them, information is just clean, profitable, their only commodity.
And our guy works for the system.
He works for the system, but it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly that he's caught up in something way more complex than just, corporate spying.
And how do these two, the system and the factory, how do they actually impact his day-to-day, given his unique abilities?
Well, they're always fighting over data, right? And he's basically a living, breathing data processor. So his life is constantly a target. And right at the center of all this complexity is this brilliant, maybe eccentric neurophysiology scientist. He's just called the professor.
The one who designed the Calcutec systems.
That's him, a real Renaissance man, apparently. Into psychology, neuroscience, just the whole workings of the mind. But he quit the system.
Right, set up his own secret lab underground.
Yeah, cleverly defended by these weird things the source calls inklings, which he supposedly scares off with sound waves.
Inklings, okay, strange detail.
It is. And his big idea, his revolutionary concept, using the human subconscious itself as an unhackable black box for data processing.
Wow.
It's all based on this idea that, no two human beings are alike. It's a question of identity.
Which really makes you wonder, what happens when science pushes the boundaries of identity that far?
Exactly. It's a huge ethical question buried in there.
So this professor, he set up a protagonist with what's called a time bomb.
Yeah, a program basically designed to push him into this totally new state of being.
And we see these confusing hints of it, right? His apartment gets ransacked. He gets a gut wound.
Chased by thugs, these semiotechs, the factory's elite data thieves.
And the weirdest part, after the attack, his apartment is found, spotlessly clean.
Which is bizarre, but here's the twist.
Yeah.
Those events, the gas inspector, the apartment trashing, it was all a diversion.
A diversion. Staged.
Staged, yeah. by a third party, apparently trying to help our guy, by keeping the semiotics busy, drawing the system's attention away from what the professor was really doing.
The main experiment.
Exactly. And that gut wound, that was specifically designed to make him hide the stuff.
Which turns out to be a skull.
Unicorn skull, yeah, and related data. Because as the professor says, you can't reveal what you don't know, nor can you surrender something you don't possess.
Clever. Hide it even from himself in a way.
Pretty much. So while the semiotics are chasing ghosts,
the real experiment is unfolding inside him. And that time bomb, it seems like it went off.
Looks like it, because suddenly he's not just dealing with thugs, he's plunged into this totally different reality.
This surreal town, enclosed by a massive wall.
Not a physical place, though. It's his third circuit, remember? A world deep inside his own consciousness.
Which the professor actually named the end of the world.
Literally, yeah. And the shift is sudden, like he's just pulled into it sometimes.
And inside this town, bits of his subconscious become real.
That's the idea. You've got these golden beasts, unicorns.
Right, they change color with the seasons.
They do. Different colors in spring, pure gold by autumn, and they're old dreams. They're collected.
Stored in skulls. In a library.
Exactly. Stored in skulls in the library. It's this really vivid imagery, isn't it? It sort of reframes dreams and the unconscious as tangible assets, things you can collect, read, manipulate.
That's wild. And then there's his shadow.
Ah, the shadow. Yeah. In this town world, his shadow is its own thing, separate from him.
Living outside the wall.
Living outside the wall, in the shadow grounds. And it holds a lot of their shared memories.
So his memories are literally walking around outside of him. That's quite a twist on losing your mind.
It really is. And they learn that shadows eventually return to die, which sounds painful. This whole separation of self and memory is fascinating, especially when the shadow says they need to be put back together to make sense of it all.
Makes you think. So his job in this inner world, it's dream reading.
That's his purpose there, yeah. He has to go to the library, which is described as just an utterly ordinary stone building, strangely enough.
And the librarian helps him.
A young librarian helps him read old dreams from those skulls. And this is supposedly crucial for him to get his lost memories back, piece himself together.
He also has to wear dark glasses all the time.
Yeah, except when sleeping. Apparently, a dream reader cannot tolerate strong light. Adds to the whole atmosphere.
And he meets other people in the town, like the colonel.
Right, the stoic colonel, the pragmatic gatekeeper. They give him little glimpses into how the town works, its weird rules, its history.
And the town itself is described as perfect.
Yeah.
Complete.
Yeah, but also a perfect nothing. Which is a hell of a paradox, right?
How can something be perfect if it's nothing? The text even says, if you cannot see that, then it has nothing.
It's very philosophical. And linking it back to the professor's plan,
right.
He explains this third circuit, this town, is where our guy will live forever after his original conscious mind just disappears.
So not death, according to the professor.
No, he calls it eternal life. A closed circuit where you just keep spinning around and around. It's audacious for a scientific experiment.
Audacious is one word for it. So what does this all mean for him? The professor gives this explanation using his film editing background.
Yeah, it's a wild bit. He says he used his film editing skills to, visualize and refine 26 different consciousnesses.
Each with its own title.
Right.
Yeah.
And our protagonist's title is The End of the World. The professor boasts about being the most able and the most ambitious scientist in the field, which, well, it kind of fits the scale of this thing.
No kidding. So this idea of consciousness visualization, creating a whole parallel world inside someone's mind.
It's absolutely central, yeah. The professor suggests that as the protagonist makes new memories inside this town, his perceived reality outside, in the real world, subtly changes to match it, percept by percept.
Whoa.
He says it's not out of the realm of possibility that his world as perceived is changing.
Okay, hold on. That's huge. Is the professor saying the actual external world is rewriting itself? Or just how our guy sees it? Does the book make that distinction clear?
It leans heavily towards the latter. It's presented as this deep, fundamental shift in his perception.
Okay.
Which then makes the external world seem to align with his inner one. Yeah. It really speaks to the power of the mind to shape reality, doesn't it? Through its own internal maps.
Yeah, it does. And that unicorn skull the professor gave him.
Right. Turns out it was a replica?
Not real.
Nope. Modeled after a visualized image from the protagonist's own mind.
So not just a weird souvenir.
Not at all. It's a tangible link back to that inner world. A gift the professor says he made on a whim, maybe tied to his theories about skull shape and mental traits. Who knows?
That's fascinating. An external object that's really an internal reflection. And his journey inside the town, he finds an accordion.
Yeah, in the woods, which is described as this dangerous, kind of unnecessary place where hardly anyone lives.
And learning to play it becomes important.
Hugely important. Learning to create wind that makes sounds, as the text puts it. It becomes this profound act for him.
How so?
It lets him literally feel the town, its elements, as part of himself. It helps him remember his lost song, suggesting music is this powerful way back to the self, to memory, a way to transport his mind.
A moment of integration, then.
Truly. And this all builds to the professor's final stark revelation, that junction B meltdown in the protagonist's brain, the critical event the experiment was designed to trigger.
Yeah.
It means he's already bridging over. He's actively creating new memories in the town.
So the transition...
It's irreversible. That eternal life in the town, it's happening. He's inside this third circuit with no hope of return to how he was before. The channel's been dealt an abnormal shock.
Wow. Okay, so this brings up a massive question, doesn't it? If identity is tied to our memories, our past experiences, and his memories are being constantly reassembled in this new inner world,
yeah,
what's left of the original guy?
Exactly. The professor tells him you get to be yourself.
But can he be? Is that true if everything else has changed? His reality, his purpose, everything?
It really forces you to confront what identity is. If your memories are reshaped, your perceptions are altered, and you're basically living inside an engineered world, are you still you?
The novel doesn't give an easy answer, I'm guessing.
Not at all. It just leaves that huge question hanging right there.
So this whole deep dive leaves us with this really thought-provoking idea then. If our minds can create entire worlds and our perceptions shape our reality, how much of what we experience every day is truly out there versus, well, in here?
It makes the nature of identity, memory, even evolution incredibly personal, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And it throws up that question. If you had the choice, would you choose that kind of eternal life? In a perfectly contained, maybe even mindless inner world?
What are you gaining? What are you losing? Especially when knowledge itself can fundamentally change who you are.
Big questions.
Definitely. A powerful reminder, maybe, that sometimes the most profound journeys are the ones we take inside ourselves. We really hope this deep dive into the extraordinary has given you all something truly significant to ponder.